Good evening, friends. Today I'll discuss about Constitution Amendment under Article 368. In this respect, once again, I want to remind you that in this channel we are discussing certain provisions under these articles in the Constitution of India. Here we can say that there are certain provisions which are amended by our parliament of this constitution from time to time. So these articles provides a big umbrella in amending our constitution and provision prescribed by the constitution. Here we can say that our constitution, which one of the longest written constitution in the world, it has enshrined our thought process and our own cultures to a great value so that the aspiration and wish of all sections of people can be accommodated. But with respect to changing time, the scenario has been changed in order to keep the pace with the dynamism of economical and socio-political scenario. Therefore, under these articles, Parliament is empowered to amend the Constitution as per the requirement of the people from time to time. In this respect, the bill can be introduced in any house of the parliament, that is Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, when our constitution is required to be amended. A bill is introduced in the either house of parliament for the purpose of the amendment of the constitution, and any bill which is required to be amended for the purpose of the constitution has to be introduced in Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha for making the amendment of the constitution. Under these provisions, this bill has to be passed by more than two-thirds of the uh, presence of the that presenter and support of the member of parliaments at the time of the amendment of the constitution, when we should be also more than 50% of the total strength of that particular house. After it is being passed from a particular house, then it is referred to the another house where it is passed by the same way. That means in other house also that provision of the bill is passed by more than 50% of the total strength of the house, and with two-thirds of the voting and present and voting that favor of that bill. Once it is passed by that house, then it is sent to the different states for ratification. And after it is being ratified by the more than 50% of the states, then the bill is presented to the president for his assent. And after president get the assents of this bill, then constitution stands amended as the provision of the bill from that time. Therefore, under these articles, that amendment has been prescribed in a very broad and lucid manner for the amendment of the Constitution. Therefore, this is a particular amendment articles which is required for amending the Constitution. We shall say that there are certain restraints which is provides us an umbrella, and our constitution has to follow in that respect. In amending this constitution under these articles, the joint session, like any other bills which can be called for the amendment of the constitution, no joint session of the parliament can be called, and for which bill has to be passed separately in both houses. Again, provision is there for the getting constitution amendment. No previous sanction of the president is required. That means for getting this bill introduced in House of the Parliament, no permission of the President is required. Again, no state legislature can initiate in this regard to amending the Constitution. So it is only the Parliament which is ultimately the authority to amend the Constitution. Therefore, that means under these provisions, there are certain items like which is affecting the basic structure of the Constitution is it comes under this provision for the purpose of the amendment. So these basic structures like election to the president, distribution of power between state and center, distribution of power of legislature and central legislature, and distribution of the that means our judiciary like Supreme Court and High Court, and that amendment to the Constitution under these articles 368 itself, and there are certain provisions in the 7th schedule. These are the different type of a number of articles which can be amended by this constitution. And the constitution, which is basically federal in nature, it is that's why it has to be ratified by the states, which does not affect our federal structure. So there are certain basic provisions which are there, like basic structures, basic features of the this constitution, which can be amended under these systems. But there are the certain things like laws like which comes under articles 111, where the that means by simple majority is enough to by the parliament to make it the law. And under these circumstances, the this way that means that sanctions of patent we may not be or may be required for this for the purpose of making this under this article 111. Therefore, in other purposes, we can say the amendment of the constitution under article 368 has a focal point in amending our constitution for a big way. Therefore, the amendment of the constitution has been a better criteria to ensure that to keep the wish and our betterment of the socio-economic and political scenario. Therefore, amendment has been carried out from time to time for even if up to 2015 May, there had been 100 amendments has been done for making constitution to a more vigorous and vibrant pattern. Therefore, this way under Article 368, who is there, which prescribed the constitutional amendment in a big way. Therefore, these provisions like amending constitutions, it can be only established by means of parliament, and parliament is the sole authority to carry out these amendment under article 368, whereas no state assembly can have any role in ensuring this constitutional amendment under article 368. Again, for after getting this way, that means president has a little role to play to withhold his assent in getting this amendment. That means he has to give his assent. There is no way out. That means there is mentioned in the constitution that president shall give his assent to the constitutional amendment when if whenever it is presented to the president for the purpose of his assent, and he cannot use his veto power or he cannot withhold his assent to the constitution amendment for any more way. That means he's not the final authority to ensuring to withhold the constitution. So therefore, tomorrow next time, next class we'll discuss some more criteria, some more amendment which has been there in amending the constitution, and the major amendment which so far has been carried out to for under article 368 for constitutional amendment. Wish you all the best. Good night. So next time, next class, we'll see about constitutional amendment, major articles which has been there, has been amended under these provisions. Thanks. Thank you. Good night.